Hello, Contrarians, listeners, watchers, subscribers. Here we are. No claws, just fingers. But here we are for a post credits video on our newest episode, that being our episode on Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare.
Nightmare.
They probably meant it at the time, Alex. I think we talked about this in the episode. How would you know when Freddy's truly dead? He keeps coming back, but every time you really mean to kill him. So, uh, this one is a rough.
To be fair, there's only three after this.
Are you counting the remake?
Yeah, it was New Nightmare, Freddy vs. Jason, and the remake. So
Okay,
it wasn't as egregious as the Friday the 13th franchise.
Halloween.
Well, Halloween never said the end. Well,
The evil's dead.
Yeah, at the end of 2, Loomis did blow himself and Michael up, but Michael came back. So somehow Michael returned. But anyway, yeah, it's 1991.
Rotten.
Yeah, and it definitely at a strange period, because when you think of the Freddy and Jason films, that especially like those quintessential slashers, that is a deeply 80s culture. And so 91, yeah, Freddy's getting a bit long in the tooth. So
he's struggling.
The claw, as it were.
Long in the claw. He's struggling to make it into the 90s. It is 21% on the Tomatometer, 32% on the popcorn meter. So rotten all over. That means that we're going to say nice things about it on the main show, at least during Contrarians Corner. And then, we'll tell you how we really feel. So here, as usual, I'm going to give you some extra Rotten Tomatoes quotes, some extra trivia. I'm going to talk about the trailer, and of course the Josh Gad Minute. So let's start with the quotes, Alex, and the consensus. Critics' consensus. Reducing the once terrifying Dream Reaper into a goofy caricature, this joyless climax will leave audiences hoping Freddy stays dead.
This has been the eternal struggle with the Contrarians and the Freddy Krueger character.
Fred Krueger.
Fred. In the first one, he's given these one-liners of like goofiness. Despite the first one is also obviously a much darker film than what it became, but yeah, the vision from the jump was that he was going to be like this fucking Henny Youngman of killing people, and so, and especially by this point, he had already established that. It's not like this is the movie that crossed the line and like, all right, this is a bridge too far, man.
Yeah, no, this is just, in a way, the natural evolution of the character. 6 movies later, 5 movies later, whatever, it's, unless you take a wild turn like the remake did and you just say, no, now we're going to treat it seriously, then, this is where you're going to end up. If you want to keep making Freddy movies, then this is where you're going to end. He's just firing one-liners left and right here, and just being gross. I just think it's funny that they call it a joyless climax. How sad of a statement is that?
It was in 3D.
You can't be joyless if you're in 3D. Fun is in 3D. Anyway, let's grab some rotten quotes. We're going to start with Cody Leach from, I guess, Cody Leach's YouTube channel. Says, if there was ever a movie I despise more, I have yet to find it. Freddy's Dead is an insult to the franchise and complete embarrassment for Freddy Krueger. Not a single performance, kill, joke, or cameo, forgive me, Alice Cooper, works in any way. With due respect to Cody Leach.
I do hyperfixate on Alice Cooper's cameo in the episode.
And I think that's the intention. That's the
that's pretty intense for him to say he doesn't despise the movie more. He was talking about this like I talk about fucking Hancock.
Yes. I was going to say, with respect to Cody Leach, that's kind of a blessed life if the movie you despise the most is Freddy's Dead, the Final Nightmare.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And you have a YouTube channel?
I was talking to a friend of mine the other night, and she asked like what the worst movie we've done is, and I was like, I've tried to find merit in most things, but Hancock is just fucking irredeemable. And I think we would both agree, despite our middling reviews on this one, this is not the worst movie we've watched for the podcast.
It's not even 90 minutes, right? Like, that alone
Yeah.
gives it so much goodwill.
Yeah.
And Robert Englund, he's always trying.
He is, and there's some things we call out in the episode that we found to kind of cling to this movie, because it's there's not much good, so when you come across it, you have to really like hold it dear. But yeah, it's not good, but yeah, it's here you go. You have to watch a movie again, Julio. This or Jason Takes Manhattan. You probably gonna watch this?
Oh, wow.
Clash of the Titans.
Was not ready for Sophie's Choice here in the post credits. Whichever's shorter. This one's shorter, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, nothing in this movie is as fun as the boxing match in the rooftop in Jason Takes Manhattan.
Julius.
But it's a lot of movie before you get to that.
I would proffer that the Power Glove is as charming as the boxing.
No, this movie has what's his name from Garfield? John from Garfield. From Clueless. From the only actor we know in this movie.
Breckin Meyer?
Breckin Meyer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This movie has Breckin Meyer. But then
deep cut with Garfield. You could have just said Josh from Road Trip, and I would be like, yeah. I do want to call out here that in a movie that Johnny Depp is in, Julio said that Breckin Meyer is the only person we know.
Johnny Depp's there for like 5 seconds.
2 seconds, yeah.
Jason Takes Manhattan has Lady Deathstrike, though, so maybe.
Kelly Hu, it looks exactly the same as she does in X2, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'll have to make that call the day off.
Point being, this is not the worst movie we've done.
No, it isn't. So Cody Leach, I mean, this was from 3 years ago, so maybe in the 3 years since, he's watched shit like Hancock and Showgirls and Jilly and other movies that we've watched that we definitely were a lot more negative on, and he's changed his tune when it comes to Freddy's Dead. Next, Patrick Cavanaugh from The Wolfman Cometh says, some satisfying moments for longtime fans of the franchise and the way it pays off elements of mythology, though it's otherwise another forgettable entry into the long-running series. So, another forgettable entry implies that it's not the only forgettable entry. I think most people feel this way, right? That the bulk of the Nightmare on Elm Street sequels are forgettable.
With the exception of Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors is the only one. Dream Warriors and what's the second one? Does he have a subtitle?
It does. It's like Freddy's Return, Freddy's Back, some shit like that.
Yeah.
Continue your thought. I'll.
Well, so outside of the first three, like nobody ever comes up to champion the Dream Child or whatever the fourth one is called, or the fifth one, whichever. Like.
Fourth one is Dream Master.
Dream Masters.
The Rennie Harlan.
Not even
Freddy's
Rennie
Revenge
Harlan.
is
Freddy's Revenge. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's like 50% of your franchise shrugged off by its fans. Even the people that like the franchise, I'm like, I don't really care. Like, it's half a franchise of B-sides. So that's not a good ratio. I think. Well, actually, would it be the same for like Halloween, Friday 13th? Would you say about 50% of those are not really well regarded by its fans?
Halloween's weird because history is coming around to my side of it, and people are recognizing that 4 is really fucking great. And Friday the 13th, you're more likely to find people that will celebrate the sequels, whereas Halloween, like you get people that know what they're talking about. They're just gonna like fucking kill each other, like arguing about it. So yeah, but yeah, that's that. To your point, yes, that's the whole thing with these. That's what makes them so interesting in a weird way and unique. Is the first ones are like fucking these. Not groundbreaking, but like really big movies, and then they just fucking fart out these sequels that people will just contest and argue about, and then everyone will almost always universally say, no matter what the franchise is oh yeah, you gotta see the first one though.
Yeah, I guess so. That's why you have a franchise, because the first one was strong enough to
Yeah,
launch their
exactly.
ships.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those were the quotes, Alex. Let's talk about the trailer for Freddy's Dead.
Don't know how like cool it is that the trailer is supposed to establish this sympathetic backstory for this like pedophile child murderer, but you know,
You're gonna finally learn what makes him tick.
it was a different time. I do miss the trail. This is definitively gone. We don't have the trailer guy anymore. That like one man, one world. But in this one, it's they saved the best for last. Freddy's dead. The final nightmare.
If they brought him back, though, if they brought back the trailer guy, would it irritate you? Would it feel like a gimmick?
Yeah, because like the landscape's different now. The landscape is like you time it with music. There's the big beats, the big crescendo. Every trailer has to be super fucking intense, and just like you know, the art of the trailer now is so much different than it was. Like this right here is a great example. All they do is show the cool shit in the movie, and like they show like the cool visual effects, and they show like you hear the good one-liners. I'm pretty sure the only one that's missing from Freddy is his last line in the movie goes kids, but that was the whole deal, right? Is you just showed cool shit and you told the audience from the people that brought you this and name the actors, then hope people showed up. Now and this is in some ways also we can saddle Christopher Nolan with this of the art of the trailers. Something we've talked about, dude. There's trailers now in modern time that are better than the movies were themselves. And if you go back to 1991, I don't think there's a single trailer that came out that year that was better than any of its like fucking counterpart movies, or it's the movie it was meant for, I should say. It's just a completely different ballgame now. So to your point, yeah, if the trailer voice guy came out, it would come across like a Tropic Thunder trailer. You know what I mean? Like it would feel like it's meant to be silly. So
maybe Nolan can bring him back, though. The trailer for the Odyssey.
If anyone can do it, it is him. That's I'm not even kidding. That dude has changed the winds and tides of how the fucking modern cinema world works. So if he wants to do it, people will follow suit.
He just wanted to get home, but the Greek gods had different ideas.
Exactly. I mean, no, it's the third Avatar movie. If James Cameron had started the first Avatar doing the Jake Sully was a normal man, maybe, but we're too far gone at this point, and he wouldn't even want to fuck with that. That James Cameron lives to make the trailer. The original Titanic trailer was pretty similar. Just like, look at this shit. So anyway, yeah, I mean, it gives away a lot of the visual effects short of like the deaths, like the violence and whatnot. It spares you the fucking Q-tip through the head, but it even has this Wicked Witch of the East homage. So
I mean, that's pretty early in the movie, but still, that's kind of like a big thing. I think even more outrageous is that it gives you the shot of Robert Englund as Robert Englund, like without the makeup and everything, which is kind of a big moment in the movie.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like, at least. So yeah, they really didn't care. They're like anything that, because you don't know anybody in the movie. So really, the only thing they have to sell it is Freddy, the special effects, and that's it.
And also a huge thing is that this was not a time period where you and I could watch the Smashing Machine's a great example. I watched that trailer probably 5 times, like pausing and like, oh, that's Pride, that's Mark Coleman, like, and you saw this trailer once, and then you went to the theater, and maybe you remembered, like, wait, wasn't that little girl in the trailer? So
That's true. There was no frame by framing
no
Freddy's Dead trailer.
And I joke about that shit, but I am as guilty with the day the first full trailer for the Iron Claw came out. I was doing like screenshots and like posting it on Twitter. I remember Joel Holbert, our friend, like quotes me as like, "Holy shit, Contrarian Alex is doing the Marvel trailer breakdown for the Iron Claw."
Oh god.
It's a different time.
Alice Cooper shows up in the trailer.
Why would you give that away?
right?
That's like one of the only rewarding parts of the movie. It's like, hey, it's Alice Cooper.
How many people do you think recognize him though?
I mean, that's fair because especially still by up till today, you typically expect me wearing mascara, his hair straightened, he's got a leather vest on. But I mean, also that's over 50% of his dialogue is included in the trailer.
um, did I miss it, or did they not allude to the 3D at all? They didn't, right?
They have there's a part where the girl's eyes sparkle. Yeah.
Right, but it's kind of weird that they wouldn't put that as a big point of promotion. Freddy in 3D, even though it's only for I don't know 10 minutes in the movie. I would think that they would really sell you that as a that's the one thing that this movie has that no other Nightmare on Elm Street has. So surprised that there were not like any more 3D puns from the narrator or something.
We'll talk about it a little bit in the episode. That was also like the paper marketing and like the posters and standees and stuff. There was a very heavy presence of making sure people knew it was in 3D. Had specialized 3D glasses that what was it, root beer? We talked about the coupons it came with and whatnot. Yeah. I'm looking at it here though. There are different versions of the movie that were released with the 3D glasses. I talk about it, I believe, in the episode. I have a release of Friday the 13th Part 3 that comes with the red and blue 3D glasses. It wasn't this, but I remember something also. There was some TGIF, or when we would have been kids, like, or you would have been 40, but like when I was a kid, a tie-in with a local video chain where this Friday part of the episode is going to be in 3D, so go down to the video connection to get your 3D glasses. And there were all kinds of tie-ins with that. So
James Cameron did not invent 3D. It'd been in our culture for a while.
Much like just everything James Cameron's done, he didn't create it, but he just took the bar and moved it up here. That's what he did.
He just made it make sense.
That's right.
That's it. Anyway, I look forward to the James Cameron Nightmare on Elm Street 3D whenever he's done with all the avatars, and it'll be
so is Robert Englund. He's just sitting by the phone.
Well, joke's on him because Sam Worthington is going to be playing Freddy.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, very charismatic Freddy Krueger. All right, well, let's move on to the Josh Gad Minute, where we know that Josh Gad is not going to replace Robert Englund, which means that Josh Gad's going to get killed, right?
Yes.
Unless Josh Gad replaces Alice Cooper.
Can you imagine just Josh Gad coming down the stairs with a fucking leather strap, just wailing into fucking young Freddy? Man, I don't know. Because we have to, like, there's not any good actors in this really.
Breckenmeyer,
and then the guy who plays the guy who figures it out. What's his name?
The guy from Roots.
Yaphet Kotto.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take that from him. So I guess the easiest way to go is we just completely, like, this is a revision, reimagining, if you will. We just completely scrap the Roseanne Barr and Tom Arnold cameos and just like meld them into one character, and it's Josh Gad that works at the fair and comes out in like a panic about missing his child or whatever.
That is good. It's an improvement. But honestly, wherever you put Gad is going to be an improvement. So I say we take the biggest swing of them all and get rid of whatever his name is that opens the movie. The kid that thinks he's special.
Oh, yeah, the person who we believe is the protagonist.
Yeah, is it John Doe? Is that because he doesn't have a name, right? That's the thing.
Yes, Sean Greenblatt.
All right, Sean Greenblatt can hold off and be in a different horror movie. This one's an iconic franchise, so we time travel with Josh Gad, take young Gad and put him there as a teenager that thinks he might be the son of Freddy. and then halfway through the movie, he gets a pretty gnarly death.
Yeah, I mean, and you'll find no argument here.
All right. Because as much as I usually like to take a different approach and like change the iconic character, Robert Englund he's been proven to be irreplaceable as Freddy Krueger. So
Correct.
if Rorschach couldn't do it, I'm sorry, I love Josh Gad, but Josh Gad's not going to be able to do it either. So no Freddy in Gad's future. We'll just do the kid from the beginning. So that's it. That's the Josh Gad Minute.
Making Gad the T1000 or some shit, or T100, excuse me.
Let's go to trivia, Alex. Let's close this down.
Man, there's a lot to this. There's a few points I want to hit personally, and much like in the episode, and if I would talk to you in real life about this, I would just direct you to Never Sleep Again, the documentary that came out several years back about the franchise.
I know you've brought it up before. And I'm sure you've told me, but would you say it's better, worse, as good as the Friday 13th documentary that you've also brought up before?
It's as good. I might get so it's called Never Sleeps Again, and then the Friday the 13th one's called Crystal Lake Memories. The Crystal Lake Memories one is a bit more thorough, but Never Sleeps Again is really good. Big part of that is for part 4. They actually get Rennie Harlan to do a sit down. Which Rennie Harlan is not James Cameron in terms of notoriety, but it's still kind of a big get. But it's good stuff. If you've never heard me talk about this or you're not familiar with these, you're going to be in for a long boy. The Nightmare Never Sleeps Again's over 4 hours, and I think the Friday the 13th one's like close to 6. So they're commitments, but you can watch them because they're broken down by chapters based on the movie, so you can watch them like in installments. But this movie was directed by Rachel Talalay, who has a connection to the series that we talk about in the episode. Screenplay by Michael DeLuca. Was released on September 13th of 1991 off a budget of between $9 and $11 million. Had a box office return of $35 million. So Freddy still had a little bit of the punch. All right, so some things I want to get to here. The previous 5 installments of the Elm Street franchise had considerably helped the finances of New Line Cinema. New Line Cinema, famously referred to as the house that Freddy built, that earned it the nickname the House of Freddy. Yeah, get ahead of myself here. The studio had begun to develop other franchises, for example, Critters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Bob Shea recalled in Never Sleep Again that, frankly, it was time to move on and we had other projects we wanted to focus on. Can you imagine a time when like heads of studios would think that? Now it's just like fucking whatever the property is. If you can't get anything like this, you put it in a sock and hit the wall 10 times with it and then see if you can squeeze some more out of it.
And then you re-release it.
Yes, exactly.
Just maybe it was just not right the first time.
I say that as if The Way of Water is not getting re-released in theaters this weekend. The decision was made that the 6th entry would be the final. Director Rachel Talalay had produced most of the previous installments and was keen to helm the 6th film as director. She also had a number of ideas that would help refresh the series, including not calling the title Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6. Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. And incorporating more humor, I don't agree with that, into the entry, which she thinks was lacking. Yes, that was the problem.
I don't know about that.
The production of Freddy's Dead coincided with the original airing of Twin Peaks, which was acknowledged in the film as an influence on its more surrealist, humorous aspects. Elements of this can be seen throughout the film, including Freddy using a version of the Nintendo Power Glove to control Spencer's character and dragging a bed of spikes to impale John Doe in a manner reminiscent of a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. In the original script, 15-year-old Jacob Johnson, son of previous installment's main character Alice Johnson, is the main character, and many of the Dream Warriors from Part 3 return to aid Jacob in defeating Freddy after he kills Alice. This idea was discarded. A hard left turn here. Peter Jackson wrote a version of the script that was not used. His story was about teenagers who did not see Freddy as a threat and took sleeping pills to enter Freddy's world.
Just to play with him?
I guess. What's up, Fred? Jackson's script also included a police officer put into comatose state to permanently be in Freddy's realm. Propaganda, man.
Oh, so voluntarily he goes into a coma to
police.
patrol Freddy's kingdom.
One cop patrolling a dream landscape. John Kyle Buechler was chief special makeups effect artist for the film. Returning to the series after serving the same role for Part 4, he also contributed to the film's 3D Freddy Vision climax. The last 10 minutes of the film are in 3D. To cue the audience to put on their 3D glasses, Maggie is seen, this is our main female character, is seen putting on her 3D glasses in the film. The effect was eliminated for the VHS, Blu-ray, and television releases, with the exception of British and French rental versions and the US Laserdisc version. The DVD box set released in 1989 reinstated the 3D effect and included 2 pairs of 3D glasses. That must have been what I was looking at earlier.
Nice.
Rachel Talalay revealed that whilst the film was being processed in 3D, the lab developing the print accidentally sent them a 2-second clip of the then unreleased Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So James Cameron crossing over into our world here.
2 seconds.
I'm curious what it was.
Yeah.
I imagine it was like one of the coolest things in the movie. Like when Arnold fucking recoils the fucking shotgun, that there's like fucking tutorial videos on the internet of why not to do that now. Still 30 plus years after that movie was released.
Rachel Talalay is sitting there with her 90-minute of footage of Freddy's Dead. She sees 2 seconds of Terminator 2. And he just sets her print on fire.
We're fucked. Unlike its predecessor, there was relatively little editing of violent sequences as mandated by the MPAA. This is something that we've talked about endlessly when it comes to both this and the Friday franchise, Friday the 13th franchise, of how many times they had to be sent back. Rachel Talalay noted that the original cut of the film was long, and as a result, several sequences were eliminated or significantly shortened. This is insane, Julio. A total of around 47 minutes was removed from the final print of the movie. So we're talking about a movie that at one point was 2:15, and that could have potentially entered the realm of like all-time stinkers that we've covered on here.
At the same time, Alex, wouldn't you be curious to watch it?
Well, absolutely, and you would be too.
Once.
Doesn't mean it's exactly. Doesn't mean it's good. As a publicity stunt for both Freddy's Dead and the comic storylines that were still being released, there's a comic book around this time. I remember the cover. It was also like it came with the 3D glasses and whatnot. New Line held a mock funeral for Freddy Krueger at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Los Angeles, including attendants from the film series such as Alice Cooper, Sean Greenblatt, Ricky Dean Logan, Breckin Meyer. So like a lot of the cast showed up for this. On the encouragement of New Line Cinema and the Los Angeles mayor at the time, Tom Bradley, they declared September 13th to be Freddy Krueger Day. But this move was heavily criticized for glorifying a mass murderer.
Thank you.
With Robert Englund adding, we have to separate crime reality from movie escapism. So there you go. And then, we talk about this a bit more in the movie. Barks Root Beer participated in a tie-in campaign attaching coupons to the 3D glasses. More interestingly, I find here, as far as just how things turned out for some of these people, heavily featured on the soundtrack to Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, was a young upstart band that was really trying to cut their teeth in the music world, the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh.
And what's his name? John Resnick. Very discernible voice, very distinctive lyrics, vocals he provides. And so I was thinking, I couldn't really separate any tracks in this that I could say for sure was like a Goo Goo Dolls track, but this was 91. The big one was I'm Awake Now, which was a song they made specifically for this movie. It was never released as like a single. It was packaged like in promotional materials, and I found a picture of like the fucking paper sleeve it came in that had the Freddy's Dead like New Line logo on it, and then said Goo Goo Dolls like in smaller print and whatnot. I thought that was pretty cool. And then reading about it a bit more, It was distributed in promotional format, but the song was later included on the Goo Goo Dolls 2008 compilation Greatest Hits Volume 2. A music video was produced for I'm Awake Now, featuring the band attempting to find something to watch on television
Yes.
as they come across one of the Nightmare on Elm Street films and decide to watch it. As they watch, they fall asleep and have a nightmare involving Freddy Krueger, portrayed by Robert Englund, because Bob's not going to miss a payday, brother, who terrorizes them. The video includes several scenes from Freddy's Dead, showing the band members experiencing fear and fascination as they imagine themselves viewing the movie in a theater. Julio, it most certainly used to be better.
Yes, I agree. The Goo Goo Dolls, Resnick getting a Q-tip through the head. I'm sure it's amazing. I'm going to have to look that up now. Man, I can't believe at the end, because you're right. He has a very distinctive voice. But I guess I was so busy taking everything else in from the movie that
I mean, there's a lot to take in.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's an excellent note to close on, especially if you're a Goo Goo Dolls fan. We have a lot to say about Freddy's Dead. Not all of it positive, as you can probably surmise, but at least in Contrarians Corner, we do our best to give Fred Krueger his props. Watch Freddy's Dead. I guess it's 90 minutes, and listen to the episode. Coming up next, we are wrapping up year 11 of the Contrarians. So it's not one movie, it's all the movies that we've covered since November 2024. We're going to do our usual anniversary event. We're going to give awards. It's going to be a whole thing. The video will be a pre-show with its own set of awards. And then, of course, the main show, the Embries, will be a lot of fun, as it always is. So stay tuned for that. I'm not saying that you have to watch all the movies that we covered, but, look at the list. Try to guess who's going to get what award.
Check it twice.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. And then I know what we're starting with, but, we'll tell you at the end of the Embries what the next episode is. It's the beginning of year 12. Will be a lot of fun too. But anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for watching, for listening, for subscribing, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Don't fall asleep.
Or do. That's fine.